I will tear down everything you think is secure. The screech of steel on steel rolled across the parking lot. Noah Kelm sat motionless in his dented Honda Civic, eyes fixed on the rear view, as steam drifted from the luxury SUV that had just crunched his bumper. The driver lurched out, tall, tailored suit, phone glued to his ear mid-sentence. "No, I've got this under control." His voice carried across the asphalt like a stage actor's. To him, Noah was just a nobody in a tired little car. Noah exhaled and stepped out slowly, nudging his glasses into place. The man's face tugged at Noah's memory, but he couldn't place it. Clean-shaven, a confident smirk, the kind of person who never questioned whether he belonged in any room he entered. "Sorry about that," the man said, not sounding sorry at all. "Marcus Daly." He thrust his hand out without looking up from his phone. "I'll have my insurance deal with it." "You weren't hurt, were you?" Noah shook the offered hand, noting the heavy watch and manicure. "Noah Kelm. I'm fine." Marcus's eyes sharpened a fraction at the name. "Kelm, that's unusual. You wouldn't happen to know Ava Kelm, would you? Real estate compliance." The question hit like cold water. "She's my wife." "No kidding." Marcus's smile widened. "Small world. She looked incredible at the conference last week. That blue dress made her eyes pop." Something slid in Noah's chest. Ava had told him she was working late last Tuesday. She hadn't mentioned any conference. She definitely hadn't left in a blue dress that morning. She'd worn her routine gray pantsuit. "Which conference?" Noah asked evenly. "Hyatt downtown, industry thing. She was the life of the party." Marcus chuckled, then seemed to rein himself in. "Anyway, here's my card. Have your guy call mine." Noah accepted the card. Marcus Daly, Senior Risk Officer, Carrington & Rowe, the same firm where Ava worked. "Right," Noah said. "I'll do that." Marcus slipped back into the SUV and rolled away, leaving Noah holding a business card and a growing certainty that something was off. That evening, Noah sat at the kitchen table with insurance forms when Ava breezed in, purse landing on the counter with practiced ease. "How was your day?" she asked, sorting the mail without looking at him. "Eventful. Got rear-ended outside North River University." "No. Are you okay?" "Fine. Guy named Marcus Daly says he knows you from work." Ava's hand paused over an envelope for a fraction of a second. "Marcus?" "Right. Risk. Did he give you insurance info?" "He mentioned seeing you at a conference last Tuesday at the Hyatt." Now she looked at him, expression perfectly neutral. "Conference? That thing. Just a dull compliance meeting. Nothing to mention." "He said you looked stunning in a blue dress." Ava laughed, thin and forced. "He's confusing me with someone else. Those events blur together. Everyone looks the same under hotel lights." She headed upstairs, and the shower started. Her phone, forgotten on the counter, buzzed. The screen flashed a contact labeled MD with a preview. "Can't wait for next Thursday." Noah stared until the screen went dark, then opened his laptop and made the first entry in a different sort of ledger. For the next week, he paid attention the way he used to prepare budgets. Ava had always been particular, but now he noticed extra care with makeup on certain days, constant phone checks. The screen flipped face down when he entered. Subtle schedule shifts, more late nights, weekend errands that stretched hours longer than they should. As assistant controller at North River University, Noah had spent 15 years cultivating an eye for irregularities. Numbers that didn't add up, patterns that only Patience. He began with money. Credit card statements, bank records, loan documents. What he found made his stomach twist. Ava had taken a personal loan for $25,000 in both their names, yet the funds never touched their joint accounts. She had also opened another card Noah had never seen. The statements, once he tracked them down, showed charges at expensive restaurants on nights she claimed to be tied up at work. Hotel rooms, lingerie from stores she'd never used before. At 2 in the morning, The glow of spreadsheets lit Noah's home office. Something cold settled in his chest. The numbers told a story he didn't want to believe, but numbers do not lie. His daughter Maya knocked on the doorway. "Dad, you okay?" At 17, Maya had Ava's blade-sharp features and Noah's watchful eyes. She had always skewed closer to her mother, seeing Noah as steady but unexciting, the parent who helped with homework while Ava planned adventures. "Just work," Noah said, minimizing the "couldn't sleep. Mom's been weird lately. Happy, but secretly. She hums when she thinks no one hears, and she's buying new clothes." Maya shrugged. "Maybe she got a promotion?" "Maybe," Noah said. The next morning, Ava announced another late night. "Big review," she said, kissing his cheek with new lipstick. "Don't wait up." After she left, Noah made a decision that would have been unthinkable a month earlier. He called in sick and followed her. Ava's building downtown was a glassy tower that housed Carrington and Rowe with several other firms. Noah parked across the street and waited. At 11:47 a.m., Ava exited and walked 3 blocks to a coffee shop. Marcus was already in a corner booth. Through the window, Noah watched his wife slide into the seat. She leaned forward, laughing. Marcus reached across and touched her hand. She did not pull away. They sat for 43 minutes. Noah timed it. When they left, Marcus's hand rested at the small of her back as he guided her toward the parking garage. Noah followed at a distance, several cars back as the now-repaired SUV left downtown for the interstate. The Kingsford Hotel sat 20 minutes outside the city, discreet rather than flashy, the sort of place that catered to travelers who valued silence over spectacle. Noah watched from the lot as Ava and Marcus entered the lobby together. They did not emerge for 3 hours. That night, Ava came home at her usual late time, complained about the review, and asked about his day. "Quiet," he said. "Worked on projections." She nodded and went to shower. Again. Noah opened a new spreadsheet. It wasn't for the university. It was the balance sheet of a marriage, with entries for lies told, trust broken, betrayal compounding with interest. Over the next weeks, Noah developed a routine. He called in sick, followed Ava, documented everything. Times, locations, duration. Thursdays were hotel days. Tuesdays, lunch together followed by Marcus's apartment, a sleek high-rise that cost more than Noah's annual salary. Noah learned other things about Marcus that Ava probably did not know. Marcus was married, though his wife Erin lived in Providence while he kept the Riverton apartment for work. He also carried gambling debts, something Noah uncove. The final piece clicked on a Thursday in October. Noah sat in the hotel bar with a coffee and a newspaper, while Ava and Marcus took their usual room. A young woman strode into the lobby, agitated, and approached the desk. "I'm looking for Marcus Daly," she said loudly enough for Noah to hear. "He was supposed to meet me 2 hours ago." The clerk murmured something about privacy. The woman was unmoved. "His wife hired me to find him. Private investigator. Either you help me or I start knocking on doors." Noah folded the paper and left the bar. In the lot, he dialed Ava. "Hey," he said when she answered, slightly breathless. "How's the review?" "Tedious. We'll be here a few more hours." "Shame. Wanted to grab dinner." "Maybe tomorrow. I need to focus." "Of course. Love you." "Love you too." Noah hung up and stared at the entrance. 23 years of marriage. 17 since Maya was born. A mortgage, joint accounts, vacations, conferences. All of it resting on a foundation far more fragile than he imagined. A text buzzed from Ava. "Review running later than expected. Probably home after midnight." It was 4:17 p.m. He did not go home. He drove to a 24-hour diner and planted himself in a corner booth, drinking coffee and thinking. The waitress, a woman in her 50s with kind eyes, refilled his cup without asking. "Rough day," she said near 11. "You could say that. Want to talk?" Noah looked at this stranger, who had no stake in his life, and felt something give way. "I think my wife is having an affair," he said. Once spoken, the words could not be pulled back. "I'm sorry," she said. "That hurts." I don't know," he said, though he did. He was an accountant. He understood balance sheets, profit and loss, the math of cause and effect. Ava had created a deficit. Lies where truth should have been. Betrayal where trust should have lived. It was time to balance the books. The next morning, Noah resigned from North River University. He told his supervisor he was taking early retirement to pursue consulting. It wasn't entirely false. He planned to consult intensively on a very specific project. With his access gone, Noah got creative. He rented a small office across from Ava's building, funded by his retirement savings. He bought cameras and learned digital tracking software. He studied Marcus's habits, records, and history with the same precision he once brought to university budgets. What he found was a house of cards waiting to fall. The gambling was worse than he first calculated. Marcus had been skimming client funds, amounts small and scattered, but Noah's trained eye caught the irregular. Armed with this, Noah built his response. If Ava wanted to trade in secrecy and betrayal, he would show her what that looked like when handled by a professional. The first move was subtle. Noah created an anonymous email and dropped a tip to Carrington and Rowe's internal audit team. Nothing dramatic, just a nudge to examine anomalies in expense reporting, with enough specifics to earn attention, but not enough to immediately point at Marcus. The second move was personal. Marcus's wife in Providence, Erin, had grown suspicious of her husband's extended absences. He fed her a story about a long-term project requiring an apartment in Riverton, but questions were mounting. Noah called Erin's office, identifying himself as a concerned colleague worried about irregularities in shared files. He suggested she review card statements for accounts Marcus touched. He sounded earnest, not accusatory. The third move targeted Ava. Noah had installed monitoring software on the home router, giving him access to everything she did online. He saw she was researching divorce attorneys and had booked a consultation for the following week. He saw transfers from joint savings to her personal account, small but steady. Noah moved the money back, then changed access codes. When Ava tried again, she found herself locked out. She never mentioned it, which told him all he needed to know. Noah's most elegant move involved the private investigator tracking Marcus for Erin. Noah reached out, presenting himself as a worried friend noticing erratic behavior. He shared select financial breadcrumbs, suggesting Marcus might be in trouble that could spill onto others. The investigator was grateful. He had been hired to document infidelity, but financial crimes would be far more valuable. Within 2 weeks, Marcus's glossy life began to fray. Internal audit widened from routine review to full inves. Noah watched from his rented office. Marcus arrived earlier, stayed later, juggling crises. Ava grew agitated, her calls frequent and urgent. The breaking point came on a Thursday. In the hotel bar, their meeting was brief and heated. Even from across the lobby, Noah could see the argument. Ava left after 20 minutes, cheeks flushed. That evening she came home earlier than she had in weeks. "How was work?" Noah asked, looking up from a book he wasn't reading. "Stressful," she said. "Some audit is happening. Everyone's on edge." "An audit? Sounds serious." "Probably nothing. Corporate drama over paperwork." But worry hung in her eyes. She knew audits did not materialize without reason. She was wondering what Marcus had done, and whether it would splash onto her. Over the next days, Noah watched her confidence erode. She jumped at every ring. She stayed late, but she wasn't with Marcus. He was too busy trying to save his career. The final domino fell when Erin filed for divorce and contacted federal agents about her husband's finances. Marcus was arrested at the office on a Friday morning, charged with embezzlement, wire fraud, and tax evasion. Noah watched from his window as agents walked Marcus out in cuffs. Ava was absent. She had called in sick, claiming the agents walked Marcus through the glass atrium, while co-workers pretended not to watch. Phones came out anyway, screens lit as if the building itself were documenting the fall. Noah stood behind his blinds and noted the time for his log. He could almost hear the sound of a card tower giving way. That weekend, he made his move at home. He printed everything he had collected for 2 months. Financial records, screenshots, hotel folios, location logs, phone records, screens from the monitoring dashboard. He set the pages in a manila folder with the clean order he once brought to university audits. Then he waited at the kitchen table. Ava came in from a grocery run and froze when she saw the folder. Noah tapped it once. "I know." She stared at the cover and did not open it right away. Her face moved through surprise, denial, calculation, resignation. "How long have you known?" "Since the car accident." "What accident?" "Marcus mentioned your blue dress at a conference you never told me about." She opened the folder and began turning pages. Her eyes tracked surveillance photos, hotel receipts, transfers into her personal account. "This is a lot of work," she said. "I am good at my job. What do you want?" The question had been waiting in both of them. Noah had asked himself the same thing in the diner with cold coffee and kind silence. What did he want? An apology? An explanation? His wife back. "I want you to understand what this cost." She looked up. "What I have cost?" 23 years of marriage. Maya's respect for her mother. My ability to trust. Marcus's career, though he managed that himself. His marriage. Your job soon enough. My job. Noah reached across and flipped to a page. Carrington and Rowe does not yet know you were having an affair with a senior officer. They will. Internal audits are thorough. They will find that you helped him massage expense reports, manipulated compliance summaries, and used company resources for personal meetings. Her face went pale. "You cannot prove that." "I can prove you met him during work hours. I can prove you were in his apartment when you claimed to be in meetings. I can prove you took loans under forged documents and used family funds to cover his gambling debts." The last claim leaned harder than the evidence, but the best lies sit on a frame of truth. "You are bluffing," she said, without conviction. Noah slid his phone across the table. The photo showed Ava and Marcus entering the Riverton Tower at 2:17 p.m. on a Tuesday. The timestamp sat clear in the corner. "There are hundreds," he said. "Different places, different dates, many during work hours." He watched the instant she realized the extent of her exposure. "What do you want?" "I want you to leave. Tonight. Pack what fits in a suitcase and find somewhere else. Sign divorce papers granting me full custody of Maya. Leave with what you brought to this marriage 23 years ago." "That is not fair." Noah laughed, and the sound came out colder than he expected. "You drained our joint accounts to support your lover's debts. You lied every day for months. You were planning to divorce me and take half of what I built, including money I did not know you had already taken. What part of this should look fair?" She closed the folder and pushed it away. "I did not mean for this to happen. It happened. There are consequences. I need time. You need to pack." That night she filled 2 suitcases and said she would stay with her sister on the west side. Noah helped her carry the bags to the car, with the same quiet courtesy he had offered for 2 decades. "What will you tell Maya?" "The truth. She is old enough to understand that actions have consequences." Ava drove away. Noah stood in the driveway and watched the taillights fade. He felt empty and also relieved. Uncertainty had ended. Pretending was finished. Maya came home an hour later and saw the gap at once. "Where is Mom?" Noah sat with her in the living room. He described what he had found and what it meant. He did not show photos. He showed transfers. He showed loan statements. He showed the way numbers line up and reveal intent. Maya listened without interrupting. When he finished, she studied the pages and then the floor. I knew something was wrong. The way she watched her phone, The way she got lighter when you were not around. I am sorry you had to hear it like this. Are you getting divorced? Yes. Can I stay here? Something tight inside Noah loosened. Of course. Weeks turned into a pattern. Carrington and Rowe completed their investigation and terminated Ava for cause. She was not charged. Noah had been careful that her involvement appeared negligent rather than criminal. Her compliance career ended anyway. Marcus pleaded guilty to embezzlement, wire fraud, and tax evasion, and received 4 years in federal custody. Erin filed for divorce and moved back to Providence with their children. The Riverton apartment went in forfeiture. The luxury SUV disappeared from the garage. Ava found receptionist work at a small insurance office, salary cut more than in half. She rented a studio near the bus line and bought a 10-year-old sedan. Mutual acquaintances kept Noah loosely updated, assuming he might want a soft place to land his feelings. He did not. The divorce finalized in February. Ava signed without contest. She understood that fighting would only push more of her secrets into daylight. Noah kept the house, the savings, and custody of Maya. Ava received her personal belongings and half the proceeds from selling her car to cover her legal fees. Noah returned to work as controller at Easton College across town. The pay improved, and the culture valued precision. He found calm in clear numbers and straight rules. 6 months after the decree, Ava appeared at Noah's door on a bright Saturday. Maya was at a friend's house. Noah was in the garden turning soil. "We need to talk," she said. He straightened and wiped his hands. She looked older, thinner, haircut shorter and showing more gray. Discount rack sweater. Flat shoes from a chain store. "About what?" "About what you did. To Marcus. To me." Noah studied her face. "What I did?" "You dismantled us like we were a messy ledger to be cleaned. You dismantled us. I made sure consequences landed where they belonged. Marcus lost everything. Job, family, freedom. For what? Because you could not handle that I was happy." The word landed like a thrown glass. Happy. "For the first time in years I felt awake. He made me feel wanted and important. You could not stand it." Noah looked and briefly saw the student he had met in a campus library 2 decades ago. Brilliant. Alive. That version had made choices. Choices create costs. "You stole from our household. You lied daily. You planned to leave me holding the bill while you started a new life with funds skimmed from our accounts. I would have paid it back." "With what?" "Embezzled funds. Poker winnings." Her face crumpled. "He was not evil. He made mistakes. He stole from a charity account. Money for sick children. I have made mistakes as a husband. I have never stolen from children. You did not have to end him." Noah looked at the woman he had lived beside for more than 20 years and felt nothing. Not love, not hate, not pity. A stranger. "I did not end him. I showed people who he was. If that ended him, the truth did the damage." Ava wiped at her eyes. "What about us? What about Maya?" "Maya is okay. She is doing well in school. She has friends. She learned the difference between people who keep promises and people who break them. She will not return my calls." "That is her choice. She is 17. She chooses her relationships." Ava studied him. "You changed. You used to be kind." Noah considered this. "You used to be honest. There is a difference." "I never meant to hurt you." "You did. You would have kept doing it if I had let you." He let the quiet sit. "That is the difference. When I saw what you had become, I acted." She turned to leave, then paused. "Do you ever wonder what would have happened if you had just asked me to end it? If you had told me you knew and asked me to stop?" He answered with the only question that mattered. "Would you have ended it?" She said nothing for a long time. "I do not know." "There is your answer." After she left, Noah sat on the porch and allowed the stillness to return. He tested himself for guilt about a prison sentence, about a ruined resume, about a sequence set in motion by his own hands. He found no guilt. He found peace. Maya came home near sunset and saw him with a book. "Mom stopped by," she said, taking the seat next to him. "I know, she wanted to talk." "What did she say?" "That I was too harsh." Maya watched his face. "Do you think you were?" He marked his page and looked at her. She was already forming into the woman she would be. Steady, direct, unafraid of hard questions. "I think I was exact. Your mother made choices. I made sure the consequences matched. Someone else might have done it differently. I did it the way I understand. Like an accountant." He smiled. "Like an accountant." Maya leaned back. "I am glad you did it your way. If you had taken her back, I would have spent years waiting for the next lie." He squeezed her hand. "You do not have to choose sides." "I am not choosing sides. I am choosing to live with the parent who tells the truth." As the sky dimmed over their quiet street, Noah reviewed the year. He had lost a wife and kept a daughter. He had lost naive trust and gained a clearer sense of strength. He had traded innocence for something more useful, the knowledge that he could protect what mattered. His phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. "Hi, I am Lauren from the book club. We met at the coffee shop last week. Dinner sometime." He looked at the message and then deleted it. He was not ready. He might never be. For now, he had his daughter, his work, and his peace of mind. That was enough. He opened his book as stars showed themselves above the rooftops. For the first time in months, Noah Kelm felt exactly where he belonged.